Okay, so these are my essentials for the hurricane, for the goldfish. I have this mini pool, which I'm going to serve as an indoor pond for the goldfish. I have an oxygenator, an air pump, and that will be I'll be using for the meanwhile. But right before the hurricane comes, I'm going to switch it to this battery-based air pump, so there's no short circuit, and also because the electricity is going to go out. It happens. We've had a couple hurricanes in the past, and that just happens. It's just part of it. So when the electricity goes out, I'm going to have this as a backup, and I have the batteries here to replace the air pump batteries that go to waste. Finally, I have the sponge filter, and this is very convenient. All I have to do is connect it to the oxygenator, so they'll get oxygen, and it'll clean the mini pond for the goldfish. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to go catch my goldfish and place them inside the mini pond. Okay, so let's say like me, you're having a hurricane coming in, or you have to put them inside because either the pond broke or there's an animal outside eating your fish and you haven't figured out how to fix that yet, or anything, any type of emergency, that you won't have electricity or etc. You should first make sure that the container you're using is not leaking and it's actually working properly, at least as it should be. Either if it's this pool or a tub or an aquarium or any container, at least the day before I would check that it's working. Fill it up with water, make sure it's not leaking, and then when you say like me, a hurricane's coming, fast them. Don't feed them the day before the hurricane's coming, or the day before you're going to add them to this container. And I say that because you don't want your fish to be pooping, and it's going to actually affect the water quality, and it will stress out the fish because the water quality will be very low. They can actually go a week without eating, so during the time that you're in this emergency container, don't feed them. They can last a week. So since a hurricane, I'm probably going to go out electricity maybe 2-3 days, only one, I don't know, but usually it's like 2 to 3 days. I wouldn't feed them for those days. It'll actually stress them out even more if you feed them. So you get a container, test out your container. You can also have a backup. Have a backup just in case anything goes wrong. When the hurricane comes, the lights go out, the electricity goes out, and people could actually trip over the pond, or the little indoor pond, or something can stab it, somebody can fall and break it. You never know, and that's an emergency. During that time, you want to have a backup just in case, to put all your fish in there and transport them. Also, location is very important. Make sure it's in a place where people are not going to be constantly walking through, that they can damage it, and also somewhere close to any source of water, or if you need to emergency change the water for any situation. Always have a lot of backup batteries for when the electricity goes out, to use your bubbler. The battery run bubbler, which I already showed you, which is I'm using a Hush bubble, and it's worked for me great when I've needed it. This has lasted me a long time. I had it running for the whole day with battery, with just one set of battery, and it never went out. At night, I did change it just in case it does go off when I'm sleeping and I don't notice that there's no oxygen going into the water. But it actually will last. It could last a lot more. It could run for a couple of days. But just as an emergency, I change the battery at night. I don't want to wake up and have all my fish dead because the oxygen went out or the battery ran out. But make sure you have a lot of battery backups. I have them running right now on the battery run bubbler. I put them in a sponge filter, important, because the sponge filter will help clean the water that they're in. And what I also did as a little tip for if you have the same situation that I'm in, I also have an aquarium with fish in there. So once I saw that the electricity was going out, what I did is that I transported my aquarium goldfish into this container. I took out the sponge filter that they had in their aquarium and I connected it to one of the tubes of oxygen. That way they had a filter that already has some beneficial bacteria in it. And since it has some beneficial bacteria in it, it will help start a nice beneficial bacteria colony in this container, and it will help with the water quality significantly. Another thing that I did, so I only have one bubbler. I usually have two, but this time I only have one. So what I did is that I got one of these teas. Okay, let me just adjust this. I got a tea, and I connected one air tube and another air tube, one to each sponge filter, or if not, just one sponge filter and an air stone. That way there's enough oxygen for the fish to go around the whole container. So this is something that you can do if you only have one bubbler and that you see that, you know, your fish might need more oxygen. My fish, they definitely do, because I have so many in this small container. Let's say one of your fish is stressed out, or maybe they're breeding and they're, you know, bothering the other fish. You can always separate them in this container. I have one fish that's a little stressed out, so I separated into this floating container that I actually use in my pond to separate plants from the goldfish. But yeah, that's basically it. Have your container, have your backup, have a sponge filter, have your bubbler. In the meantime, before the electricity goes out, you can use your normal air storm bubbler, just because it's a lot stronger than this one to give them oxygen, and also so you don't waste your batteries. Once you see the lights are going off, disconnect anything from the wall so you won't get any power surges ruining your material, your machines, and then connect the battery run bubbler. Have your batteries close to you just in case, and yeah, basically that's it. And I really hope this works for you. It actually worked for me during Hurricane Irma. But you know, it's not just for hurricanes, it can be for anything, any emergency that you have that you need to put all your fish inside, because you have a pond with too many of them, and you don't have enough space like another aquarium where you can just add them. I really hope this helps you. You can follow me on Instagram at Kitty Loves Tofu, KITTYLOVESTOFU. I'm constantly updating on my goldfish there. I also answer questions if you have any. You can ask the questions on the comment section. And yeah, thank you for watching. For the love of goldfish.